January 24th, January 25th, and January 26th. Alright, hello everybody. It is currently Friday evening. Poured myself a bath. Is that how you say it? Poured yourself? I made myself. I opened the water to give myself a bath. So I won't be able to talk long. This water here isn't as hot as I like it. I like I like a bath that makes me feel like I'm boiling alive. But the last footage you saw was Tuesday, and sadly I have forgotten what happened on Wednesday, at least in part. So some quick housekeeping things. We got our clicker stuff. So right here is the pouch. Yep, I blocked my face because who cares about my face? It's a pouch. This is the same pouch I have for my current dog at home, Mika. The only difference is this is red and the one that she has is blue. So this is our treat pouch, and by treats I mean this is my food pouch. We don't give treats. It's not saying, they're not saying you can't give your dog treats. It's saying that they do not train with treats. My dog will probably not be getting treats. It'll depend. So this right here is the clicker. Now, she might jump up, who knows? Oh, the bell is, okay, there's the bell. So this is the clicker. I'm not gonna go over it fully, but it has different points, different attachments. It has a bell. We attach it to whatever we're trying to target, and we target it. I know, very simplistic. This is the clicker. It's very simplistic. It's a boxed clicker. My clicker at home is cooler. I mean, this is like, what is this? It's green and white. So, I mean, that in and of itself. Now, if this was green and black, it would be the best. But it is sadly just green and white. It's a nice stable clicker. It just has one sound. The one I have at home, it's a pink dog bone, and it has 3 different sound settings. So you can have like a more of a deep click or more of a high, kind of weaker click. So I really like the one I have at home. Anyway, we got some clicker stuff, so that's cool. Haven't worked with it yet, but we'll get around to it. So, and she's currently just sprawled out on the floor. So that was just that housekeeping. Okay, cool. Alright, so the last thing I ended up with on Tuesday was the the clicker. Yeah, clickering. That's why I showed you guys the clicker stuff. Yeah, so I just finished watching that footage, so it's kind of hard for me to remember. So yeah, the clicker meeting went really well. It was really interesting. I enjoyed it. Learned some stuff. Learned that I'm not technically clickering correctly at the same time I am. So, who knows? Figure things out later on. What else? Okay, so that's it for Tuesday. Now we're gonna move on to Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday, again, I can't really remember this all that well. Wednesday morning, I believe we did a doubles route. I believe it was an extended south again. I have no idea. That's the one part of the day I cannot remember, and it upsets me. Like I said, looking back at these videos, they're not, they are for everyone who wants to watch them, and whoever's interested, and whoever has any kind of questions, but they're also for me to look back at a record of what I did every day, and when I can't remember what I did, it bothers me. I believe it was an outdoor route. just getting in some more mileage. It could have been doubles, it could have been single. I'm not too sure. I don't remember. We did do a route in the morning. Wah wah. There were no meetings that day. In the afternoon, we went to, or was it that? No, that's what it was. Okay, I lied. I remember what it is now. I'm like, it just takes the right sentence. Wednesday, we went on a hike. Unless I already did a video on doing a hike, in which case I'm lying right now. As far as I remember, we went on a hike. Yeah, that sounds accurate. Because it wasn't Thursday, right? Sorry, I have notes here. What did I do on Thursday? Yeah, okay, no, so, because it wasn't Tuesday, and we wouldn't have done it on Monday. No, we didn't do it on Monday. Okay, yeah, so Wednesday was a hike. We went on a hike, what was it called? Jockstrap Hollow or something like that? I'm not too sure. It was like a 1.2 mile hike, fairly short. Just getting some basic info. Whether it was on Wednesday or whether it was a day before, I'm going to just talk about the hike now, because we definitely went on a hike. Whether it was on Wednesday or not, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday morning. That makes sense to me. Yes. No, it was on Wednesday morning. Yep, I'm... The final answer, Wednesday morning. Sorry. I'm really fluttered. I have a lot to get through, and I'm wasting time. So, you know, with hiking, you need to change your expectations for the dog. You can't have the same expectations you do on sidewalks or in stores. Alright, welcome back. I am all bathed, showered, and socialized. It's now like 9:15 kind of. So I'm gonna be heading off to bed here. Teeth brushed, moisturized, hair brushed, hair dried. I'm all ready to go to bed, so just finishing up these videos. I was planning on posting them today, but you won't see these until tomorrow, which will be Saturday, so that's gonna be a thing. So the last thing I was talking about was the expectations with the dog in hiking versus other environments. The thing with hiking, and you have to know your dog, and you have to know your environment. If you are on a groomed trail, so a trail that's, pavement, there theoretically should be no reason your dog is brushing you up against brush. That's not to say that there isn't a reason for your dog doing it. It's just saying that it's a groomed trail. It's like a bike path. There's no reason that your dog should be doing it. That's not to say that you should punish your dog if they do. But again, it's dependent, and you should know your own situation and know your dog. So the path that we took was different than other paths because other hikes that we've gone on, me and my family or me and my school, it's always, typically it's like a gravel. If it's not a gravel, it's a worn trail. It's something that, it's a very wide gap in the trees, and you can tell it's a hiking trail, or it's been walked on so many times that it's just a dirt path. There's like no grass or anything growing on it, so it's a trail. The path that we were on, I could not distinguish in many places where we were walking from the rest of the woods. I could not distinguish it. That's not to say that there wasn't something there that I just couldn't see, but to my eyes, normally the hiking trails I go on, I can see that there's a trail versus no trail. This trail that we were on, there were some places where, it was very obvious that there was a hiking trail or horse trail there. But other places, I wouldn't know the path any differently than if we were just walking in the middle of nowhere. We just pointed somewhere off in the direction, we're just like, we're gonna walk that way. Yeah. So, it's just, something that you have to also look at, how wide is your trail? There was brushing up against my jacket. You know what? I accepted that. Now, when we were walking and I got nailed in the face by a thorn bush, I didn't accept that. I think my natural reaction was enough for her to be like, oh, ooh, I did something. I don't know what it was, but I did something here. It hit me in the face. I got a little thorn in the nose and my cheek and whatever kind of thing. It wasn't too bad. A little bit of a scratch, that was it. And when I started walking past it, she knew that there was something up, and so she tried to take me off the path, like fully off the hiking path, and I had to get her past, and she didn't want to go back on the path because she wasn't too sure what was going on. So it took a little bit of reworking, but she figured it out. With hiking, there's some things that you want your dogs to look out for. So larger sticks that you could trip on, logs, branches, that kind of thing, large rocks, some of which she just did naturally, and some of it's trial and error. Now, if you're hiking on a regular path, if you have a 10-kilometer loop or something that you take on a regular basis once every weekend, then the wise thing to do would be to get someone to come with you on the trail to orientate you to the trail, basically, so that they can point out the toe catchers to you so you can point them out to your dog. Now, that's not to say that the next time you go there might be another fallen branch that your dog doesn't miss, but at least by that point your dog will know what they're kind of looking out for. So that's kind of what we were doing on my path, and for the most part she did really good. There was a few things that we had to rework, but it's a whole different environment. She has never been on a hiking trail, never been shown or worked on a hiking trail before. So for a dog that's never been worked on a hiking trail, she did really well. I was just you just have to accept some things. I won't accept being hit in the face. If she slows down or stops and just says, you know what, there's just no way, there's a branch here and I can't get around it. Okay, fine, but let me know that there's something there so I can acknowledge that there's something there, and then we can move past it. Don't just walk me into it. If there's a big toe catcher, I'm not going to accept tripping over it. I will, however, accept brushing up against things and, catching my toes on small rocks or sticks or something like that, because you know what? You're hiking. There are obstacles, and you can't get mad at your dog for every little nook and cranny that, hides. If you take to the trail, you take the consequences of the trail. Anyway, so that was Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, we went to the Creamery, so it's an ice cream shop in Morristown, and we go there as kind of like a farewell to the retrains. So everybody goes there, all the groups, and we all sit down and get ice cream and talk, and we all have all our dogs sitting there. It was kind of interesting because there were, I guess, beads on the floor, like bracelet beads, and some of the dogs were running after them. I know I had to correct Yoshi on it. I gave her correction, she just forgot about it, but it was still right in front of her, whereas some of the other dogs couldn't forget about the beads. So we had some of the instructors going around picking up beads on the floor so the dogs didn't eat them. But it's just one of those things. So, and that was good. we didn't have any lectures or anything at all on Wednesday. It was just a really relaxing day, so I know a lot of people were socializing Wednesday evening after dinner. I was going to, and then I was really debating. I'm like, okay, so all the retrains are going home tomorrow, so, you know, are people going to be out talking, or are they going to be, you know, trying to catch up on sleep? Or so I didn't know what to do. So I didn't end up going out, and I regret it. You know, because I really didn't get to say goodbye to anyone Thursday morning. So that was kind of sad for me. But who knows? Maybe we'll talk, or maybe we'll email or whatever. Facebook, who knows. So then Thursday, which was yesterday, yeah. Like I said, I'm doing like 3 days in one day here, so ugh. Okay, so Thursday morning, the retrains were relayed to the airport, basically. So everyone had different flights, different times. So the instructors were, you know, taking groups of them to the airports at different times. We did get a route in, and the route we did. Oh, voiceover. Turn off. Thursday. Was it today? Huh. Okay, well, so the route we did Thursday morning was kind of an extended Elm route. Elm is another route that they'll do with the students during the first 2 weeks, during the scheduled routes. That's another route that they'll do. The second route that I did in my first 2 weeks was a variation of Elm route, the Elm Street route. It wasn't the full Elm Street because I guess they had construction going on, but yeah, what we did, I think it was an extension or a varied Elm route yesterday morning. And then the afternoon we went to a shopping mall, which was really cool. The feeling of walking with a dog in a mall is completely different than the feeling of walking with a dog in, or with a cane. I'm fairly good at keeping a straight line when I walk, so that was one thing I wasn't quite used to, is kind of we were floating around the floor a little bit more. It was different. Another different thing is that, you know, as I'm walking by, I do have enough sight to kind of see where there may be an opening to a store, but it's kind of interesting with her, you know, turning her head to kind of point things out a little bit. It was also a lot quicker. I mean, I was slowing her down quite a bit, but the amount of freedom and quickness you can get in the mall is also pretty nice. There's also a lot of people in the mall. I had somebody, as we were walking by, I couldn't hear what she said. I thought she said, "Greetings, shopper." I think that's what I thought she said. And what I think she was asking is, can I pet her? That's a sneeze. That's a thing right now. So there was a lady who I guess wanted to pet Yoshi, and my first response is to keep walking. My instructor was like, "Oh, you know, she's working, not while she's working," kind of thing. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to respond or not, or if I was supposed to let him respond to that, so it was kind of awkward. But then, like, you know, like 100 feet down, as we were walking along this main strip down the mall, one of the main hallways, we passed by this one store, and this kid, like, yelled, like, it it was a really young kid, toddler, baby kind of, and it wasn't like a scream. It wasn't like scared or I guess happy or surprised. And Yoshi stopped and like looked at the kid like she stopped instantly and just stared at him like what? So I gave her a correction and like helped her up, and my instructor caught up to me, and he's like, "Oh, that kid looks so deflated." So I'm just crushing everybody's dreams at the mall. It was funny though. I was like, okay, but it's cool how the dogs will show you things that they know you like or that they know you want. So you like doors. So when you're walking along, the dogs will show you doors because they know that you like doors. In a mall or in like a store, they know you like they know you like doors, so they'll show you doors, but they also know you like escalators. So in a mall, I can hear the escalator, but I might not be able to exactly pinpoint, or sometimes they're turned off, and you can't hear them. But the dogs can see the escalator, and they know that you like the escalator, so they want to bring you to it. So she brought me to the escalator a few times, and they don't know right off the bat up versus down, so you still need to figure that out yourself. But it's kind of nice that they'll show it to you. So if there's like lots of noise, you can still. So yeah, that was. Oh jeez, the yawning doesn't stop. That was the adventure at the mall with the people. Then this morning, right? That was Thursday. Yes, this morning we did a singles elm route, reverse elm route. So singles being, it was just me and my instructor. Doubles being me, the other person in our group, and then our instructor. So there's two of us and our instructor. So doubles essentially is anytime you are working with another guide team. Whereas singles, it's just you and your dog. So this morning I was singles elm route, reverse elm route. Nothing really special about that. Actually, we did as we were on like one of the final stages of the journey. Her first, that is Yoshi's first instructor. So Yoshi's had two trainers, and her first trainer was actually walking by with a new dog in training as we were walking on the street, and surprisingly, Yoshi did really well. She didn't go too crazy. Well, she didn't go crazy at all, really. She looked, and that was about it, which was kind of surprising to me. I was prepared to give her correction because previously when her trainer had come to kind of, I guess, interview me, Yoshi was like excited, which I totally expected. She wasn't as crazy as she is with my current instructor, who was her last trainer, but she was definitely still happy to see her first trainer. But like I said, she did really well passing by. She kind of looked back, but that was about it. But she does that with any dog she passes pretty much. So that was interesting. And then this afternoon, it was just a very quick little trip. We went to a pharmacy and we targeted we clicker trained Yoshi to a counter, the pharmacy counter at the back of the store, and she gets it really quickly. I think it helped that it was before dinner and she was hungry. her taking the kibble from my hand was very sloppy. She was like, thanks for the food, slobber everywhere. I'm like, okay. Where is my dog? Okay, she's in her crate. So that was good. The atmosphere without all the retrains. The way our class worked is that I think 2/3 of the class, or so, just slightly less than half to about 1/3, were new students. So originally there were 18 of us. By the time everything kind of got settled out, there were 16 of us. And there was 6 of us that stayed back. There is one other person here, so there is 7 of us here currently. But she came in after. She's just getting a refresher, like for a 1-week refresher. She already has a dog, so she wasn't receiving a new dog. She already has her dog, but she's just getting some additional help from the school. But there were 6 of us that stayed back for our own reasons. I know 2 people will be going home on Monday, and the rest of us, I think, are going home on Wednesday and Thursday. So that will be interesting. Sorry, I can hear people going to sleep right now. We're coming down the hallway. And then yeah, so 6 of us stayed back. So it was a different kind of dynamic. It's depressing, I guess, to, leading up to them all leaving, I was getting really stressed out. I actually, I think it's cold sores, but it might be canker sores. I don't know. I don't know how legitimate it is that, you get either from, and one you get from kissing and one you can get from stress. I think it's canker sore you can get from stress. But I have 2. I have 2 ouchies, canker sores, whatever you want to call them, up here, kind of back towards here, and then like one like right up here. So the same side, but they're far enough down that I know I didn't bite my cheek because they're too far down. They're like below my tooth gum line, so not that you guys overly care about my mouth problems, but I was getting stressed out because this is you form bonds here. There are great people here. I mean, not everybody gets along, as I've said in previous videos, but there are people who you form relationships with. Some of those relationships will be long lasting. Some it's more like, oh, it was great meeting you while we were here, bye kind of thing. And some people it's like, oh, I don't really want to say goodbye to you, or okay, I'll email you when I get home, or I'll check up on you in a couple of years. And being the youngest one here, it was that additional like, okay, there's no chance I'm going to form any kind of lasting relationships here because I'm 18, nearly 19, and everybody else is like, I think the second youngest person here was like 26 or 27. So that's a decent age gap. With the majority of people I think are in their mid-30s to mid-40s. I know some people are like 60s, 70s, but so it's a complete different dynamic. I was put in with a much older class, which I object to. You know, I don't have too much tolerance for young people because they're just immature, you know. Actually, several of the people here were actually shocked when I told them I was 18. You know, I've had people, like the people here, were like, "Really? You're 18? I would have guessed you to be at least 22." Like, so, you know, but it's, you know, it's just one of those things. And there are some people I formed good relationships with here, I think. You know, I've definitely had some people come up and say, you know, I'm checking in on you in a couple of months, so be prepared for that. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Camera, yeah. That's been the thing, but yeah, I mean, with everyone being gone, it's empty. You know, everybody is either out with their instructor. A lot of people here only have one person to one instructor. Some people have two, but you know, there's 5 instructors, and I know at least 2 of them have 2 people, and I think 1 or 2 of them have. What's the math on this? Okay, so our group has 2 people, and that would be 5 left. I know one person has 1, so that would be 4 left. That person has 2. So, oh, I'm so confused. Either way, some groups have one person, some groups have 2. So, sorry, I'm just uncomfortable right now. My shoulders and my knee and my ankle are just killing me. It's different. It's quieter. It's not as fun. You know, before there would be groups of people just talking all over the place. Some people would go to the main large lounge to talk. You know, and some people would go to some of the smaller lounges and they would just talk in there. And, you know, it just depended on your group and what you were doing and everything. And there's virtually none of that now. You know, the only real talking is at meal times. Or, you know, lately we've been congregating in the main lounge after dinner. At least the past 2 nights we have. But otherwise, there's not that many people, and honestly, the people that are left, they're very nice, but they're just, you know, they're just not individuals that I necessarily want to be hanging out with all the time. So some of them, yes, and some of them I'm just kind of like, okay, do I have to stay here much longer? And it has nothing to do with them necessarily. It just has to do with me and what I prefer. You know, I don't necessarily want to be around somebody who needs to fill, you know, silence. I'm okay if you just want to sit here and not talk. I'm perfectly okay with that. But let's make it clear. Are we talking or are we not talking? I don't like this random jumping in with conversation, because then that sets my anxiety and my issues turning. You know, when do I speak? How do I speak? What do I speak? You know, and it makes me anxious if you don't make it clear whether we're talking or we're not talking. Now, if I'm more comfortable with you, you know, if you're my parents or you know, someone who I'm around quite frequently, I don't care if you are quiet and then you just suddenly jump in with, oh, hey, so how was, you know, but if I don't know you that well, I get stressed fairly easily, because then I'm waiting for your next thing. I'm like, are they gonna speak anymore? Can I go back to just doing my own thing? What do I do? So that's always a thing. Yeah, it's definitely a different atmosphere, and knowing that 2 people are going home on Monday, and there's only going to be 5 of us left. It's like a game where everybody gets voted, you know, either off the island or off the boat or whatever you're playing for. You know, they're just taken away, and you're like, oh, there's fewer of us now. It also lets you know that your journey is coming to an end. You know, there's less than a week until I go home, and I'm excited, but I'm also sad and nervous, and I'm not really ready for it. You know, there's so much that you are learning to do. You know, am I correcting properly? Am I doing this properly? You know, what happens if this occurs, you know? And the only way you can ask those questions is if you keep working. And, you know, every time I go out, she does something, and I have a question about it. You know, I'm like, okay, what do I do if this happens? You know, the general rule of thumb is that when you approach a curb, you don't make your dog sit, because if they sit, they can't back up. So if a car comes too close to the curb, they can't back up as effectively. However, if your dog runs the curb, you back them up and you sit them down to show them that they made a mistake. And so now your dog is sitting. So there's just rules that just flip back and forth, and it just confuses me. So, you know, there's just little things like that. When you make your dog sit versus when you don't make your dog sit. You know, that just get to me, you know. And I don't know. It's I haven't been homesick really. I mean, I miss my Mika. Stressed out a little bit about how that's gonna work, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully everything will go good. And tomorrow I have the day off. So Saturday, nothing will be happening. It'll probably be like the same as last Saturday. Can't believe it's already been a whole week. Ugh. Time is just flying by right now. It's not helping. So I wouldn't expect too much to happen tomorrow. But tonight we're gonna test Yoshi. I'm not gonna like zip her into her crate. Her crate's a zip up crate. I'm not gonna zip her into it because in my room she'll either be on tie down or she'll have free roam of the room. So I want to see how she does here. So I'm going to go around the room, make sure everything's picked up, make sure her toys are away, so she can't annoy everybody at 4 a.m. by dropping her nylabone on the ground. Not that there's anyone necessarily below me at this point, but you know. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry it's long-winded. If you guys have any questions or any comments, you want to leave any feedback, make sure you guys leave them in the comment section below. Also, like and subscribe to my channel for future videos, and share it so we can grow our group here. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching and have a great night.